Hello and welcome to the Bear Right Trail Running Podcast with Sam Kirk and Chris Lures. Here bringing you stories from East Coast trail running, celebrating all these trails, all this wonderful stuff. And this is our first episode, our JFK episode, our first interviews, our trial run, our maiden voyage, our shit show of a
Yeah.
podcast, and we're getting started here. And what do you think, Chris?
Boy, a first of many. Listen, we're gonna be
Let's hope.
stumbling, bumbling, rumbling through this one, but definitely looking forward to talking running and having some fun doing it, learning some things and enjoying ourselves for an hour or two here. So. Or what are we doing? 45 minutes? I don't even know. But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
who
looking
knows?
forward to it.
Yeah. So we just finished up a couple of interviews here on this JFK preview. We finished up the interview. I just one with me and Ferdinand Clovis, and then also with Ryan Clifford. That Chris was in on that one as well. And they were not without their technical difficulties. Hopefully, when we bring those through on this episode, we will have some good parts of those conversations, and we'll be able to bring out the best of those. But yeah, we just finished up with Ryan on that preview. That was your first time talking to Ryan, Chris.
It was.
So
Yep.
yeah, what were your takeaways? What do you think he's going to be bringing to JFK this year?
Well, so first time again, quote unquote, meeting Ryan. It was great to chat with him, and yeah, really awesome that he took he's busy, he's opening his own business here, which is great, and great that he took a couple minutes here to chat with us. I know he's quick. I know he's has some really impressive finishes, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him mix it up. I mean, the field, men's and women's, and really some speedsters in the men's field here. So looking forward to seeing what he does, what he can do out there. I know he's going to most likely put up a pretty impressive time. So
Yeah, I would expect so.
yeah. So it'll be fun to see. Bummed I couldn't hop on with Ferdinand, but he's another guy that I know is again, very, very fast, has the turnover, has potential to really do some damage on the JFK course. Again, never running it myself, but being a fan from afar. Sam, I know you have some obviously personal experience with the course. You've run it. Was it 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, I've finished it twice.
Okay.
I've participated 3 times.
Nice.
And we have another participant that just entered the chat here. Josh, welcome, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Josh.
But you can't see me.
I can't see you, but I know what you look like.
Can you feel me?
We're gonna leave
Always.
that one. We're gonna leave that one
Wait.
lying.
Well,
Yeah.
I for some reason the cam's not showing up.
I think that's intentional on your end there, Josh. So we all know what's going on.
To
So,
not show my age.
Yes.
well, the thing is that we're gonna be talking all about your age. So just entering here, we got to give some introductions. Joshua Figger, member of the Bear Right Trail Running team here, one of the inaugural members, and our senior statesman
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Josh
boy.
has 2 national championships in the age group categories to his name. Got one at Tussey for a 50-mile national championship, and then one at Rocky Raccoon for a 100-mile national championship. So we are not worthy. We are not worthy. I don't know whether Josh, can you see this? Can you see this? We are
Yeah.
we're really, really stoked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And because this podcast is not just about whatever whatever 1325 5K guy decided to start running trails and make a name for themselves, but the people who have been um, contributing to the trail and ultra culture for for a long time, and also specifically East Coast trails. And
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, but that's one of the reasons why wanted to make sure that you were part of
Mhm.
this like very first
What
podcast.
what
Yeah.
1325 guys running trails?
I don't know. I'm just making up a number. I don't
Okay.
know.
maybe
I mean,
maybe
besides
may,
you, Sam.
may,
Besides
may,
you.
maybe was a 1325 guy, maybe not so
Yeah.
anymore, and that's why he's running trails now. But no,
Yeah.
Josh.
I have split 1325 in every single 5K I've ever run.
Yeah, that's true. For 2 miles.
Well, I'm just saying at some point there's a 1325 in every 5K
Yeah.
I've ever run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish we could get this cat. I mean, I got the Bear Right shirt on and everything.
But yeah, I mean, I had it in the background before. Josh, you're coming in at a great time. Our other interviews, although were great interviews, had terrible connectivity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
were not
Yeah.
as seamless and lovely as this one is going.
Jo-
Why didn't we get this shit out of the way with Josh?
What happened? So what? Did you have technical issues?
Yeah, I think it was my
Well,
fault. I think it was because I was recording downstairs.
okay.
I was too far from the router.
It's
Well,
okay.
so-
It made things interesting, kept us on our toes.
Yeah.
Josh, honestly though, I know it's easy to banter back and forth here, and like Sam, you've known Josh a lot longer than I have, but yeah, just fun to get a chance to chat, man. It's awesome having you on, and all kidding aside, like you have thrown up some some pretty impressive results over the years in the ultra sign up. Like it's pretty impressive. So we have to have you on. I think you might be looking for. Well, I don't know. Why don't you fill us in? What are you looking to do at JFK? Let's jump into it. What are your thoughts? Like, how are you feeling? What's your mindset going into it? How's your training been?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I don't want to embarrass my crew, who's coming out to it. I want to finish.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's goal number one. I mean,
Yeah.
when you
Hear,
get
hear.
when you get old and you've been doing these so many times, it somewhat has lost its luster over the years, right? I mean, it's like, oh, another one of these. But really, I think what's been, I think, good for me is moving into a new age category and actually trying to look at age group records and to try to go after those. I think the one here at JFK is really, really stout by John Lawler in 2013. I think he ran like 6:21:06. I have no preconceived notions of running that, but I think if I can run sub 6:40, like 8-minute pace, I think that would be fantastic. At least a good start with the type of training that I've been doing, which has not been the typical mileage that I've been used to.
Well, yeah, Josh, why don't you? This makes me want to talk about a couple of other things, because I feel like your training has a really great like social element to it. You have like a few things, like you meet up with people for a lot of runs, and then you have been doing Wednesday morning track workouts. I don't know for how long. I want to say years, right?
Yeah, I think it was something we started. I think it was pre-COVID.
Wow.
Or during. Yeah, I think it was pre-COVID. So probably in the last 5 years or so.
But that's been something that both like gives you regular connection and community through those regular runs. Plus, you're maintaining your speed, and I've been on several runs with you recently, and you're clipping off, as I feel like I'm falling off, doing all my trail work, and I feel like there's something to be said for a little bit different approach, like hitting the hitting the track, hitting the roads. We were just talking with Ryan earlier. He's a flatlander, hitting the roads quite a bit. I think that's serving you well right now.
Yeah, I think, I mean, being an older runner, right? I mean, if I go back a few years, um, I was really into like a lot of speed work, right? I mean, I was a, a marathon junkie pre ultras. So doing a couple track workouts a week, tempos, long runs, probably about three main workouts a week. And then when I went into ultras, it sort of changed a little bit. I was like, oh, I need to do more distance, right? I mean, because that's what ultras are about. It's about just that uh, building that aerobic capacity. Um, and so I did that. I was still doing speed work, but then when I got into 24-hour running, I gave it all up. Like it was just, I got to run I was putting 40, 50-mile runs on the track because that was the surface that I was going to be racing on. And I got rid of all the speed work. And I think that took a lot, that the speed of my legs really just went away. And as you're getting older now, it's like you really got to work to maintain that speed because everyone says, with age, if we watch Mike Tyson last night, right? He looked good in maybe the first two rounds, but then he just didn't have, I think, this speed and endurance at age 58. I think the same thing in the late 40s, early 50s is that you gotta continue working hard. Not necessarily the distance, because I think over the years I've built up that distance training, and that's going to stay in my legs and stay in my heart and stay in my mind for a long time. But it's the speed that you got to stay on top of. So the past 5 years, I think that's really paid huge dividends. And I think a lot of it started coming in with Dave Roach when I was in SWAP, his summer called play, and he was coaching me for a year. He really emphasized, 2 speed workouts a week, and that just kept, got me going and got that speed back in my legs, and I've been sticking with it ever since.
Well, Josh, I want to just say I really appreciate that name drop. That's going to help us in the podcast algorithms here.
Hashtag. Josh, if I could, so you had mentioned something when a couple minutes ago, breaking into that masters category and just, maybe with this training block, maybe you're not looking to. I mean, it would be great, right? I maybe you're not looking this year to try to break that Masters record at JFK, but I mean, you still got some turnover, man. Has breaking into that Masters category, has that rejuvenated you at all as far as mindset going into races?
I mean, when I broke into the 40s, definitely.
Okay.
Right? I think it's been harder into the 50s. I mean, you're still trying to compete against, people like Sam Kirk here and, other guys in those 40 categories who just have tons of leg speed and tons of strength. And it's just really hard to compete against them. I mean, I can in some races, not when Sam's in there, but, when other, some other, some other locals are in there, I can compete in that category. I think for these bigger races, right, like JFK, where there are some, there are those different categories that are recognized, like the 10-year age groups. I think it is intriguing to try to go after a record that's 11 years standing. I mean, some could say, well, there's not many 50-year-olds running, so who are you really? It's not that competitive. But when you look at like someone like John Lawler, who has the JFK record, I mean, he was a stout runner back then, and still is. Seeing that you're able to keep up with the talent that existed before is sort of that driver, So there's got to be something, a carrot out there for me, because it I'm not going to beat those younger 40-year-old speedsters like Callum Neff, right? Callum Neff is coming again. He's going to run 5:40 something probably and take that Masters record. But I think I can maybe try to, winning the 50 to 59 age group is the second goal besides finishing. Third goal is to maybe get like top 5 Masters overall.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's a great goal. Yeah.
You got Cal Neff, you got Adrian Spencer, you got a few others in there that I can try to hone in on and attack after the trails once I hit sort of what's my forte, which is the flat turnover, just set it and forget it type running.
I think it's gonna be great. So it's something that we hadn't really talked about previously, but you started bringing up some of the other names in the field here. We could probably start to go into breaking down this elite field. Josh, do you want to take part of that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
We have a really, really competitive field on both the men's and women's sides coming into JFK this year. Let's start by breaking down the women's field. I don't know whether you guys have this up or not. We have a few people, I think, few women to consider on the East Coast sort of narrative of things. Coming out of Macungie, just around the corner from us here is Holly Benner. She is one of those Masters athletes in the 40 to 49 category. Has some really, really impressive results. Also have Britta Clark out of Brandon, Vermont. And Katie Lowe in Martinsburg, West Virginia. After that, I don't have a whole lot of insight into the East Coasters. But I really would expect Holly Benner to be up there and mixing it up. Do you guys know of her? Kind of being in this area, or is she new to both of you guys too?
New to me, but again, not recognizing the name is not. She may clip off a very impressive run, and I expect that she will. But there are a couple others here, East Coasters. Of course, Rachel Drake stands out as not an East Coaster, but as one of the elite females in the race. Karen Strickland, North Carolina here. Alyssa Anderson from Claremont, New Hampshire. Definitely want to shout them out too. A little bit down the list, but hey, still probably going to put up a real nice effort. I don't know specifically, Sam, but definitely looking forward to seeing how things play out for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for to see what Holly's race looks like.
Yeah,
she did take the win and 6th overall at Grindstone 100K this year. And
that's impressive.
That was a big result. Had an overall win an overall win at a 6-hour event in Pennsylvania here earlier in the year as well. So not a lot of big races on her ultra sign up. But that Grindstone 100K does seem to be a bit of a breakout. Pretty big deal.
Sure.
So I would expect to see some good things from her. And I would expect that she's going to be kind of the person to beat on that like East Coast, side of the race. You got into into you mentioning Rachel Drake there.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably the most well-known
Mm-hmm.
name on this start list. Clearly, is that who you're looking for as a pick, Chris?
Man, I not gonna pronounce the last name right, but Esther
Chillag.
Sizzlag,
Esther Chillag. Yeah,
Chillag.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, did she run Black Canyon? Am I
She
incorrect there?
has run. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Western
I would have to look. She is. She's
Western
an international
States.
athlete. Yeah, she's
I
run
mean,
a lot of
she's
stuff.
won.
Western States.
Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah,
I mean, she was third at Western States.
yeah,
Right? So
yeah, right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Josh.
two
Yeah,
years in a row.
yeah. I mean, that's incredibly impressive this year to run she threw down to 16:42 at Western States. I mean, that's fast. That is really fast. So I can imagine that she and Rachel Drake might be out in front, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead, Josh.
No, I mean, there that is really fast for Western States. I think the question really comes down to who's. I mean, Western States is a big strength race, right? I mean,
Okay.
yeah, you need speed, but it's that 100-mile strength. Who has the speed? Like, because once you come out of those trails, running flat fast is definitely different than running like a Western States. So I don't know how these other runners, sort of what their background in sort of marathon speed tends
Yeah.
to tends to
Well,
look like.
Rachel Drake, from my understanding, really kind of cut her teeth in like sort of post collegiate sub ultra, um, type type events. So I think Rachel has quite a bit of speed, um, and so I would expect her to be
Yeah,
up there. Um, Meg McKinsey as well, who who's here on the list is another international athlete. Has some a top 10 at CCC,
Mm-hmm.
third at Pikes Peak Marathon. Real big time races. And has been racing for a long time. So you look down through
Yeah.
her ultra sign up. It's big results spread out over the years.
Yeah.
So it seems like when
Yeah.
she shows up, she's showing up ready to race.
hmm,
I would expect she's gonna be ready to race and ready to throw down as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
I also want you guys to scroll down, take a look. It's a little farther down here. I don't know why she does not have an ITRA score, but Mary Denholm is another really heavy hitter.
Okay. Yeah.
Winner of Leadville this year.
yeah.
Also Silver Rush 50 miler in 7 hours. Big time, big time results this year. So this is, I mean, the gloves are off for this race.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I think
Well,
I think she might have set a course record this year too. So it was not just Dave Roche.
where, where do we think? I mean, I don't know what her training's been like, but Emily Harrison is running as well. She's further on the list, and I mean, I don't know if you guys know
Oh,
her
yeah.
from
Okay.
years ago, but Ian, she was really fast in the past. Married to Ian Torrance, who's also running. He runs it tends to run it every year. Um,
Yeah, he's been running it forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I could. I mean, we're talking like podium. I think Emily Harrison will definitely be on that podium.
Yeah.
Are you talking
Uh,
about top 10 podium or top 5 podium?
they do top 10, right? So
Yeah, but for
yeah,
I'm thinking
top five.
the free
I mean,
trail type picks.
yeah,
Yeah.
she could. Yeah. Oh, yeah, top five. So I think she could be towards the back of that. I have
Yeah.
Valerie Arsenault as well. I don't know if we mentioned her. She was third last year. Um,
Yep. Yep.
in 6:35. So um, in her first JFK. So I think coming a second time through, you learn a lot your first time, and then you come in knowing where you can run faster. So
Yeah,
he
sure,
went
absolutely.
6:35 first year. It can only get better.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
So
she's definitely, she's kind of part of that, um, that Canadian contingent that always seems to show up and throw down uh, at JFK each year. Um, it's
Yeah,
it's interesting. It definitely
yeah,
gets that
you're right.
draw.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Josh.
no, I was gonna say, looking, you mentioned the Canadian contingent. You got Arielle Fitzgerald too. She is
Yep.
a 3:33 50K. Now that's 7 years ago, um, but that's pretty stout.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, she's got some very very good results on here. Once again, these are a little bit like things are a little spread around.
Hmm.
But yeah, she ran that in 2017, but also was fourth at Broken Arrow in 2022.
Yep.
So it's not like she's irrelevant now for
Hmm.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely very strong. So yeah, I mean, I think that those are the main contenders. Seems like, I mean, I would tend to give the edge to Rachel Drake. Um, not no, not having a whole lot of um, I don't know, sort of uh, perspective on how
Hmm.
each of these runners' training has been coming together.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be digging into everybody's Strava and this kind of
Hmm.
stuff. Um, but just on a profile, how she
Yeah.
raced Black Canyon, um, the 50-mile distance, it makes me think, she's going to be tough to beat on a 50-mile fast course.
Sure. Yep.
But you know,
So
I think
so
Mary Denholm and Esther Chillig are going to be right there as well.
so what's uh who is your pick then? Sam, Josh. Do you guys have a favorite?
Female favorite. Yeah, I'll I'll throw on my favorite.
Okay.
I think I agree with Sam on Rachel Drake. I think
Yeah.
just with the most recent evidence out there, I
Hmm.
think she knows how to race. So I think she'll come in ready to go.
Yeah.
But it'll be a nice it'll be a nice competition up front. I think for the ladies. So it'll be fun to watch from behind. Maybe far behind. But
Yeah, just
Yeah.
watch. You'll have to pull out your phone and see what I have going on the on my Instagram story about how they're doing.
Yeah.
uh, well, you're not that far behind. Um, How about you, Chris? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Esther and a battle with Rachel Drake. I don't know. I just can't get that 16 and change Western states out of my head, and I know it's not a great comparison, but holy cow, the strength to run that time. Who knows? Maybe it won't sort of compute to the speed that you need at JFK. Maybe it will. I think they may push each other. And again, Sam, I'm not digging into Strava training here or anything like that. Nothing specific like that, but we'll see what happens. I think it might be a two-way or a two-person race there for the female victory this year, but who knows? I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be. Do you guys do you guys know what the record is there? The female record. I
Just
don't off the
under
top of my
six.
head.
It got
Just
broken.
oh
She went under six. Yeah,
just a couple years ago. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Six oh
oh
five. Is it
yeah,
6:05? Something like that. But who
I'll,
knows? Maybe that'll go down this year. I don't know.
I thought I thought I thought somebody went under six recently, but maybe I'm wrong.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
try pulling it
six.
up, man.
I think it's six, and it's oh my gosh, yeah, I can't think of her name. Um, is it 2023, 2022? I think it was recent, the past couple of years. It was recent.
605, Sarah Beal.
Sarah Beal, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Sarah Beal still has it. I thought for some reason I thought it went down under 6, but
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, misremembering.
I mean,
So before,
incredibly fast.
yeah, before I give my picks here. So yeah, so we have Sarah Beal with the
Hmm.
course record in 605.
Yeah.
I do think that is going to be under threat.
Yeah.
Conditions dependent, but yeah, definitely under threat. I want to give one more shout out here. Robin Lesh, um,
Hmm.
also, extremely highly ranked in the ITRA score. We did not talk about her even with these really impressive results, and also some East Coast results. She's run Mid-State Massive and won it twice. The 30-miler version of that, up in New Hampshire. So she's running East Coast races, and we're not even shouting her out. I think that's bullshit, guys. Come on, like let's pull it together here.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I'm just a
And
guest.
Absolutely. You know what, Josh? I'd argue you're a little bit more than a guest.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you came more prepared than the hosts, so
You did.
that's here.
You
No,
did.
I'm just scrolling through my phone and looking at the
Yeah.
start list and be like, hey, I recognize that.
Yeah.
That name. Yeah.
So she won Mid-State Massive, and in those wins was third overall, second overall, in both of those. So very, very, very strong performances there.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
So I think she's going to be somebody to watch. But I'm going to give my top 3 here. As I said, I've got Rachel Drake taking the win, but I don't think there's going to be very much separation at all. I think, you usually see, somebody kind of running away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that is what happens this year. And I think you've got Mary Denholm in a close second, Esther Chillag in third. But I think we are talking, a couple of minutes spread there. Like nobody's running away with it.
Mhm.
I think those women are all so strong.
Yeah.
And really, really, really top level. So that's my hot take. My hot take is that it is going to be a very, very tight finish. And you're going to have, 3 people battling it out for the win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Any other takes on the women's race before we move on to the men?
I don't think so, but I do think it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be close. It'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna throw a shout out to Laurie Diamond out of Chambersburg, PA.
Yeah. Great. Awesome.
She's a 24-hour runner. She's done, all these. I've known her for years.
Mm-hmm.
She's not super fast, but she'll, I think as a masters athlete, I think she can do pretty well in the race. I don't see a ton of. I mean, you got Holly Benner, right? I guess you got some masters runners in here.
As far as other masters,
yeah,
like top level masters.
But she's definitely the top 50 to 59 listed. So look for her to come out and win that 50 to 50. I mean, come on, I gotta go give shout outs to us seniors here.
Yeah, well, I also see that she has run this race. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with it. It's dawn to dusk to dawn ultra. Does anybody here know anything about that?
No. But I've heard some pretty. Josh, why don't you expand a little bit there? Got to give a shout out.
Yeah. So for the 2 listeners that we'll ever have on this podcast, Dawn to Dusk to Dawn is a 24-hour track race held in Philadelphia over Mother's Day weekend. This will be my 3rd year co-race directing that race. And it is one of the last, for anyone out there who listens to this, it is going to be one of the last opportunities to qualify for the U.S. 24-hour team. I'm expecting that this year in 2025, we'll get a few big names to show up. You know, 2 years ago we had Harvey Lewis come on out. We've had Pam Smith there in the past. Pam Smith, if you don't know, won Western States in 2013. Got a top 10 overall there. We've had Maggie Gattaro. I never say her name right, even though she's a good friend of mine. Gattaro, she's come out there. We've had Pete Kostelnick come out, huge in the 24-hour racing. I mean, this is trail. This is a trail podcast, I understand, but I could see someone like Zach Bitter maybe coming out. You know, because he didn't fare so well at the race in South Carolina just this past weekend or 2 weekends ago. So I see that we're going to get some pretty good names out here. So it's going to be a big race in the Northeast in May.
All right, yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
excited for it. So, you know, just start figuring out alternative Mother's Day plans right now.
Yeah. That's right.
Because you know, you're going to be in the doghouse if you choose to do this one. So, yeah. So with that, let's follow up and head to the men's race here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, pulling it up. Oof. Glad I'm not racing. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Is
where
it
do we
going to be
start?
competitive?
Well, I mean, but in all honesty, like, I mean, who knows? I mean, is Eli Hemming going to be there? Is he going to be signed up? Is he going to be there? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the thing is this list is probably, like, as we're looking at it right now, is probably incomplete. And I know that there are people who are on this list who are not running.
Right.
So, like, for instance, I've spoken with Jared Burdick, last year's 5th place finisher, I believe. And he is not racing.
Yeah, I think 4.
4th? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, 4th place finisher. Okay. So he is not racing.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know I saw some exchanges from Ryan Sullivan and Nick Arndt, who I believe are both going to be racing, so I expect them to be there.
Great.
Sean Van Horn has raced there very well in the past, as has Matt Seidel. He's raced extremely aggressively there. Of course, last year's 2nd place finisher, now a master, a little bit farther down the list for some reason no one will understand, is Caleb Neff. But yeah, so we have a lot of returners to this race, you know, from the podium, who are pretty far down the list.
Yeah. Caleb Neff is way down there. I don't.
You know, so just a recognition of that, that you have these guys who are, you know, who have proven themselves at this race over the past several years, that are, you know, that are a little bit farther down. You know, Ryan Sullivan 3rd last year, Caleb Neff 2nd last year. You know, Nick Arndt has been in the top 10 multiple times.
Yeah.
So, and Sean Van Horn, I think, ran a pretty darn fast time several years ago as well. So that means that they're making space for some real big names at the top. So who do we want to talk about first? You guys mentioned Eli Hemming. You want to start in there?
I mean, the record would be. I can imagine that the 518 is at is it Wamsley?
Hayden Hawks.
Or Hawks. Okay. So what did Wamsley run? A
5:19.
5:9. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. So it's fast.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it's fast, and I can assume that, hey, if Eli Hemming's running, that record is in serious jeopardy of going down. But then, I mean, look down the list: David Sinclair, Chad Hall, and is that, if those guys are running, right? Who's that going to pull along with them? I mean, again, Matt Seidel, like, I mean, Ryan, we just spoke with Ryan and Ferdinand. They've got some wheels. I think you have that top end speed. It's going to pull some guys along. So we could see not only the record being broke, but we could see a really, really fast field altogether. A really, really fast top 10 this year. Be interesting to see what happens, what plays out, and again, Sam, like you had mentioned, who on this list is actually going to show up, right?
There's going to be. I can't speculate as to who isn't, but there's always, for some reason, there's always a decent number of people who are supposed to be at JFK who don't show up.
Yep.
Who aren't there on race day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that I don't see anyone really standing out as like the person to beat, really. I think that, it can be a big crowd there, and just they can break each other down.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, there's not a Walmsley, there's not a Hayden Hawks. I mean, you could argue that some of these guys are up, Eli Hemming's up at that level if he shows up, but there's not, at least to me, right? There's not any of those like really, really big names here. The really famous ones. So I think they're all. It's going to be a very tactical, I think, race at the front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see someone going out and just hammering it because I just don't know these guys well enough.
I tend to. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna disagree on that one.
That's
Josh,
your right, man. That's your right.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I think that you have that because of the kind of race that JFK is, and a lot of the guys here at the top, like Eli, David, they have their names. They are known quantities, and Chad Hall even, right? So you have these guys who are known quantities that a win here is good, but they're going for the record. Hemming, Sinclair, maybe I mean that would be my thought. I mean, Hemming probably would get a big bonus for the win. I don't know what Sinclair's sponsorship level is with that sort of thing. So I don't know that a win for him is as big a deal as really going for like big stuff. I mean, this guy I think he went like sub 4 hours at Broken Arrow, like
4:01.
Oh, 4:01. Okay. All right. Not quite sub 4 hours, but really freaking fast. Like crazy fast.
Yeah, 4:01
over that course.
I guess I show my age because I don't name recognize that anymore. I'm still stuck on the past, like the unbreakable type runners.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Sorry. Well.
I live in the past, man.
Anton is not in this race.
He was at Grindstone.
He was.
I got to say hi. Well, at least when he passed, when I was pacing my runner, I got to see Anton Krupichka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but did you get the autograph?
I did not. I didn't even smack him on the ass. I should have smacked him on the ass. That would have been the right thing to do.
That would have been. Yeah. Oh well. So all right. So Sam, go ahead.
All right. So you have the top guys here. I'm just gonna give some sort of little quick bio. Eli Hemming, sub ultra stud, stepped up to the 50K distance and absolutely crushed it out west at Big Alta. With a big time race out there. And
3:38.
3:38. I want to say, was it? I forget what the gain was, but something like to 8,000 feet of gain. It was substantial amount of gain
Yeah.
um, in that race, and
Mm-hmm.
really stomped it.
Mm-hmm.
Commanding win
Mm.
out there. Um, David Sinclair, skiing background. He is, he's been, big time in the trail running scene. I, he's not like known for being fast because we don't know, or like fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just think because we don't see it, but I remember seeing video of him coming over the the top of the final climb of at Broken Arrow this past year, looking at his body position coming through there, how powerfully and fluidly he was running, you know, um, 3.5 hours into that race,
Yeah.
with that kind of elevation, the guy can really,
Yeah.
really run, you know. Um, Chad
Sam,
Hall, yeah, go
Sam,
ahead.
real quick, if I could interject, some of those guys that come from like the skimo, or Nordic background have such an engine, it's just such an engine that, um, they're just beasts. Like, didn't Eli Hemming originally come from a skimo or Nordic background as well?
Triathlon.
Triathlon. Okay, so I'm off there. But some of the skimo guys are super strong. Yeah, excited to see what David Sinclair can do here. But I digress.
Yeah, I think he's going to do very well. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. You got Chad Hall there. Not a whole lot of trail running history, but very fast. Very fast, and he's got the I don't know what you call it, the family
Yeah.
lineage.
He's got the genes.
Yeah.
He's got the
Yeah.
genes. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait,
Yep.
is that like related to Ryan Hall?
It's his brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure of that.
No,
I'm not.
now I'm second guessing. No, they are. They are. They definitely are. They are.
Did I hear a beer open over there somewhere?
Well, hold on a
I don't
second.
know what you're talking about.
So Josh, I think we had some discussion before the pod, right? Are you partaking or no?
I am.
Okay, good.
It's
What do you have there?
I have a Victory Hop Devil.
Oh,
Actually
beautiful.
just ran out to get another one when you guys were talking. I don't know. You're saying something about 338 something or other. I don't know.
Oh, that was sneaky. That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, so that's a benefit of the camera not working, is I could just dump out and
Love
grab
it.
a beer.
Love it. Love
Yeah, I mean, I should probably stop drinking again. But what's Sam doing? Is he taking a call?
Yeah, I think he's taking a call. Yeah, he's taking a call. It's okay. We'll continue on here.
Yeah.
Who else we got here? I mean, my goodness, there's I'll bring up Ferdinand, who unfortunately I was not able to jump on with. Sam got a little bit of background. Sam, what did Ferdinand have to say there? Could you recap a little bit of that? I know the are the thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners that we have will get to hear
I mean, I don't want
a little bit.
I don't want to be redundant, because want to hear the same things over and over again.
That's it.
Like millions of times. But
Yeah.
Ferdinand is he's a French transplant living in New York, New York. He runs for Aravaipa, and he's quick. He was just tailing David Roche out at Javelina for the first like 70 miles until stomach issues turned on him, and that was the end of that. Followed that up with 2:28 at New York City Marathon like 2 weeks later, and now he's coming back for this. So I don't know what that's going to mean for his legs in the last 10, 15 miles,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the guy is going for it, and he he's a lightly built runner. He's not going to have like heavy impact stuff like that. He should be pretty fluid through the trails and stuff. Um, so I think he's going to be in consideration for that top 5 for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Yeah, as will Ryan Clifford.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Little bit different. I think he is. We had some discussions. Earlier. I want him to keep the confidence late. I think that's really hard on, because I don't expect Ryan to go out hard. I don't expect it. We had a little bit of trouble with the audio. We'll go back and listen through some of that, but I do not think that he's going to overrun that trail section. So I think people like Matt Seidel,
Mm-hmm.
I expect Eli Hemming, Chad Hall, David Sinclair, those guys, I expect them all to be out front.
Mm-hmm.
And even, like Andrew, who we expect to talk to for this podcast as well. Andrew Simpson out of Wrightsville, PA.
Oh yeah.
Also on the list here. Has had some great races, has not quite put together the JFK. Clearly loves the event quite a bit, but he's somebody who's going to be out. You look at the times coming off of Weaverton Cliffs, which honestly, this is something that I think when people are going to be following stuff on race day, there's going to be the live stream that's going to be by Mountain Outpost. And we'll see. Hopefully, it's a great live stream. But people that tune into our Instagram stories are going to have, they're, I don't know, they might have better knowledge on Mountain Outpost, but on ours, we're going to have my knowledge.
Who knows what they'll have?
Yeah, but the reality is that there are pretty varying times that come off of the Weaverton Cliffs, right? People, the spread there is pretty intense as to what then happens later in the race.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have your top 5 come off the Weaverton Cliffs in a 10-minute spread, something like that, right? 10 to 15 minutes, I would guess. Somewhere between an hour and 45, and could be even quicker than that, and 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a 15-minute spread, and that is going to be completely jumbled from what that top 5 shows later. I mean, some of those guys might even just drop out, but it's nuts that in the first 15 miles of the race, you're going to have a 15-minute spread.
Yeah.
And then that is going to completely just be upended in the rest of the race. It's gonna just blow apart. It takes a while, but it does.
One of the guys here that we didn't mention yet, he would have been next in line if you're following the Fantasy Free Trail sort of rankings, I guess, if you will. Here is Craig Hunt, who, man, he's quick. And you sort of just going back through some of his ultrasound up here. Black Canyon, 746. Just looking at like Way Too Cool, 323. He's got some wheels. Could this be a race where, even if Eli Hemming is, could this be a race where he and Eli Hemming maybe push it out together? I don't want to overlook David Sinclair. I mean, he's got speed, but man, like
you're
some
saying
of
with
those,
like his Black Canyon result,
Yeah,
is that the one you're looking at?
And Way Too Cool,
I think one thing you didn't mention, which is a little farther back, 5 years.
Yeah.
Mad City 50K and
Mad City 251. Well, and you look at the Carbon X2, the project, right? The 100K and 655. Like, whew, I mean, that is absolutely blazing. Um,
Yeah.
you know, I I don't know. I don't know.
I think those wheels cannot be overlooked. And
No.
um, yeah, I didn't see that until
Hmm.
you mentioned him, and
Hmm.
that's impressive.
It's very
So I
impressive.
think
Yeah.
the question is coming out of the trail, where does he sit? Because if he's within breathing, distance of those
Hmm.
guys, he's gonna turn that on. He's got the speed to do that.
That's a great point, Josh. Yeah,
So
where's he gonna be? How's he gonna feel? And you guys are familiar. Sam, you're you know super recent or more recent. Josh, have you? Is this the second time you're running JFK?
first,
First,
first.
okay. Um, uh, Sam, out of the out of the off the Appalachian Trail onto the towpath. That's mile 15, 15 and a half, 16, something like that.
Yeah, in that area. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that he's going to be up there mixing it up for sure. You
Yeah.
expect that, as well as Trace Knott. I mean,
Yep.
this guy's been he
Yeah.
definitely throws his hat in the ring early in these races as well. He got the best of Craig Hunt by just about an hour at Broken Arrow Sky Race this year. After you know, Hunt got him at Black Canyons
Yeah,
earlier in
Black
the year by
Canyon.
a couple of
Sure.
minutes.
Right. Yeah,
But
exactly.
so very, very, very strong, strong races there as
Yeah.
well. These guys, just I'm looking over their results, and where they finished. I get the sense that these guys are fast runners. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you look at him having Black Canyon Ultras, 100K, in 7:48, extremely fast, right? Extremely fast.
Well, and you,
But also Breakneck Point, the 21K the year before.
yeah.
I think he split that slower than I did in the 42K, right?
What are you saying?
I'm saying it seems like this guy is fast, maybe not. Well, I mean, he could have just had a bad day, but
Yeah.
it seems to me like he is a very strong, fast runner, maybe on the extremely technical stuff,
Yeah.
not
No, I got no.
not as
and I,
not as
yeah,
much
and
prowess.
well, and you know what, and that's the thing, and you do bring up, in all honesty, you do bring up a good point. Some of the results here. I mean, I'm also looking at the Lake Sonoma, which I know doesn't quite have the draw that it used to, but you know, fourth at Lake Sonoma in 2023. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
Well, so Chris, my point is that
Yeah.
this course
Yeah.
fits somebody like Trace and Knott,
Right.
right?
Well, that's
so
yeah. Right.
yeah,
Right. Right.
like he's somebody to be considered because his results on, and he also did he did very well at Broken Arrow as well. Like, I mean, this
Yeah.
guy's got he's got great results
Yeah.
on stuff that tests your engine,
Yeah.
right? Really tests your engine.
Yeah. Good
And I'm
point.
sure he's going to really ramp it up. We talked about Ferdinand. You know, we could really dig into it here, but it's gonna bog us down quite a bit. Let's just talk a little bit about the East Coast stories, and close it out.
Love it.
All right. So, a couple of people just want to bring up. Let's start with Ben Lynn, someone who's come out and agreed
Excuse
to
me.
throw down with us from time to time. What do we
Yeah.
expect to see from Ben out there?
I mean, Ben's a really strong runner, man. I mean, we've have I run with Ben? I don't know. I mean, I saw him out in front of me a few times, right? Every race I've run against him, he's strong, man. He's quick. I think he's gonna have a really strong race. Yeah, just a strong runner all around. He's quick. He's quick. I think he's versed in both technical and again also some of the maybe more groomers as well. So I think he's equipped to tackle the first 15, and I think he has the speed to really attack the towpath and the road to follow. So I suspect that he's going to have, depending on how he's feeling, I suspect he's going to have a good day out there, a good race, and I think he's prepared to throw down.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think. I I would say his strength is trail. No,
He's got good turnover.
Yeah,
Very good turnover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of the other East Coast runners out there. I think you mentioned like Ryan Clifford, and, right, or Ryan.
Yeah.
Paul. Is it
Yeah,
Clifford?
Ryan Clifford's going to be there. We had a chat with him earlier. Reagan McCoy is going to be there.
Yeah.
McCoy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know Reagan personally. I know his name. I know he's quick. I think he's absolutely crushed some of the mountain races. Looking forward to seeing what he does out there though on a quicker, flatter course.
Yeah, I would say my hope. This is my hope for my East Coast brethren, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would expect to see Ryan and Ferdinand up in there mixing it up.
Yeah.
I would love to see Andrew, just please take your time through the trail. You don't need to run a 148, first 16 miles in order to run a great time. This guy, if he just holds back on the trails, comes through with Ben and Reagan, because Ben runs some really conservative, consistent, smart races. So Andrew, Ben, Reagan, they all know each other really well. They support each other. They train together sometimes.
Yep.
I would love to see them coming onto the trail, the towpath together, and working together through that marathon section, and just eating up the back end of that top 10.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
and I think that all three of them have all the firepower to run well under 6 hours.
Yeah,
they need to work together. I hope they listen to this and take heed.
Yeah.
They won't.
I mean, let's shout out some other runners that that I know are strong in some of the local races. I know we touched upon some of these guys here. I know Brandon Fogarty, who I've run against at least once, who's strong, younger guy, which is awesome to see, like breaking into the trail scene. I think Brandon's in his early 20s. I think he's in his early 20s, and applaud that. That's so cool to see some of these younger guys interjecting some youth into the sport, which is maybe more well known for late 20s and up. So that's really cool to see. James Weaver, who I know is another strong local runner. Josh, is Nico running? I think Nico Teller's running.
Nico is running. Yeah, he did enter.
A buddy of mine who, man, I always chant. He's such a beast out there. He specializes in. Well, I mean, what doesn't he special? He throws his hat into like any and everything, which is I'm such a big fan of Nico. Great guy and
Cocodona finisher this year.
Cocodona finisher. I mean, this guy goes all over and does every distance, like every terrain. So I'm excited to see what he can do there.
And
just a few.
You know what? He within, I guess, the past couple months, he's become a Downingtown West Track Club runner on Wednesday mornings.
Beautiful.
Another plug for the track.
Love it, man. Absolutely love that. So those are just a couple guys that I know I've run with. Great guys. Hoping to see a really strong race out of them. I expect I will. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Hey, as we were doing those shout outs, Chris,
Yeah.
I scrolled down and I saw a name that we have not mentioned yet, an East Coast name that could have a big breakout day, kind of stamp their name into the books here. And this is somebody that it's not showing up in the ITRA stuff, and is way down, but we all know who this person is. Parker Weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Parker Weeks is running JFK.
Where's that name? I don't see it on the list.
You got to scroll down. It's all the way down because he doesn't have a score.
No, wait, hold on. So he's run JFK
No, he hasn't.
Hasn't he?
Nope. Yeah, all the way down. This is going to be somebody that's not on anybody's radar. Well, it's going to be on some people's radar now that we've mentioned it on the podcast.
Naturally.
But Parker Weeks,
what version of the free trail list are you looking at? Because I don't see it.
No, he's on there.
He's up. He's on there. He's on there, and he has lost once,
dude. Whew.
Right
to Ben, right?
To Ben
at Heiner.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. I'm telling you, this guy goes out hard, and he is strong.
Wow.
And I would expect that he is going to be gunning for those top guys. He is going to go out with whoever goes out. I don't care if it's Eli.
Wow.
I don't care who it is. He's going to go out with them, and he's going to hang on to something.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to hang on to them, but he's going to hang on to something. The guy is really, really impressive, and he's going to make a name for himself out there at this race.
Sam, did you get a chance to talk to him at Twisted Branch?
Yeah, and I'm going to take a little credit here.
Yeah.
I told him he needed to run JFK.
Oh.
Josh, were you there when I told him that?
I don't remember, maybe.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Look at that.
So I was like, because he was telling me, it's like, yeah, I don't know whether I want to do, like what the next step is for me. I was like, go to JFK.
9:57.
Like, you want to show up where the competition is, like,
Sheesh.
And you're hard nosed. You're like, he just runs hard. He runs
fun.
Real hard.
Man, that's fun to see. I'm such a fan of those guys that go out like absolute, like a bat out of hell and just go for it. Like the David Roach shoot your shot, like just go for it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's certainly on my radar. And what a fun Heiner to follow last year in the 50K too. I mean, that 50K keeps getting more and more stacked. Wow. Yeah, that's certainly a name to keep an eye on for sure. Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah, well,
remember
I didn't know he was in.
Twisted Branch there, Sam, about what the winning time was going to be at Twisted Branch?
Pardon? What was that?
At Twisted Branch, the night before, you said the winning time's going to be around 9:58. It was 9:57.
No, did you really?
He did. It was
Jesus.
9:57:57. 3 seconds off.
Yeah.
All right. So Sam,
he knows his shit.
So Sam, send me your fantasy free trail for JFK. I'm gonna pop that. I'm gonna pop it in verbatim.
I don't know. I mean, well, put it this way. When I said that, I thought I was capable of running that time, and I wasn't anywhere close.
So were you predicting the winning time, or were you predicting your time? Right?
Yeah,
that
would have been
both.
Place, 3 seconds behind Parker.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point there.
What I'm saying is, I mean, look, things went sideways for me. I wouldn't have been as far off of that time as as I was had I had a good day.
Yeah.
But
that
was an incredibly strong run for a 9:57:57. That was 9:58 was a lot harder than to run on that course than I thought it was. So that's a better time than I thought it was.
Yeah.
No.
Impressive. Just not knowing the course at all. Getting some feedback from you, Sam. Really getting some feedback from you, and yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. Excited to see what he has to offer there at JFK.
All right, yeah. So we're
Yep.
getting long here.
Yep.
Let's hear everybody's picks and
Yeah.
sign this shit
Cool.
off.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Josh, why don't you run with this one?
So what, you want my top one?
Yeah, do top
Top three.
three. Yeah.
Top three? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Dave Roach takes the overall win.
We didn't even get into that.
He enters late.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So I'm gonna go Dave Roach, who isn't on the list, comes back, and then I'm gonna have Craig Hunt, in second, and then I don't know. I think I'll go an East Coaster, getting in there.
Yeah.
And go Parker Weeks.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Man,
Love
this
it.
is what I mean. These are, these are great picks because, what you're basically looking at is like, hey, either these people aren't going to start or they're going to blow up, and it's just like, I mean, certainly a top five is going to be a different one. So go for it, Chris. What do you got?
So I mean, I'm gonna go Craig Hunt for the win. I mean, I can't. Yeah, some of those finishes are impressive. I'm gonna go Eli Hemming in second, and then I'm gonna go. Gosh, on the spot here. I think honestly, I think either Ryan or Ferdinand, one of those two guys is gonna come and round out the podium. I could see both of them battling for third. I think those guys are primed for a really strong race. I don't want to pick a favorite here. I know I might be backpedaling, but I like one of those two guys to round out the podium. Yeah.
Oh,
How
that's
about you,
fine,
Sam?
man. That's fine. Yeah. You know what? I'm for the win here, I'm going to go with David Sinclair, our newly minted East Coaster here. For the win. I do think that he is the class of the field at the 6 hour sort of area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put oh goodness. I'm gonna bring in all East Coast. This is gonna be an all East Coast podium. I'm going David Sinclair for the win. I'm going Parker Weeks, making a big name for himself in second. And Ryan Clifford coming in for third, and it's going to be an all East Coast podium. We're gonna block out the West Coast. They can go home with their tails between their legs, and it's going to be an East Coast throwdown out here.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh well, we can.
When we were going through those names, I mean, we only briefly, and I don't even think we glanced over it in the men's field as much as when I mentioned the Masters field. Cal Neff.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
very true.
He's consistent. He's gonna be up there. I see him competing there. He's second last year, so. Can we call him East Coast? South Coast?
What, Texas?
It's Texas. It's like Houston side, isn't it? I think so.
Oh my God. Yeah. No.
East
no,
Coast.
we definitely can't. We definitely can't. But in any case, yeah, we needed to talk about Caleb Neff. I mean, third or second place from last year. Yeah. Definitely the Masters record is way under threat. It is. Basically, it's one of those things. It's like hanging on by a thread at this point. All right, looks like we got to sign off here, guys. Thank you very much. We are way long. I'm going to stop this recording.